All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to our Ask Monsters and Multiclass segment.
The big one. The question we keep putting off.
Yeah.
We're finally doing it.
All right,
I don't know. Maybe this should have been its own standalone episode.
No, I don't think so, because I hate this. So the new Brandon C. asked, what is the most interesting 3 multiclass you can think of? And I think we've gotten this question a couple of times, like if we'd ever cover 3 multiclasses when we run out of the dual multiclasses. And our reason has always been no, because it's really tough to make them interesting.
And viable.
Yeah. And
then you start having, just from an entertainment podcast perspective, I think you start having a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
Like, you got your fighter paladin, and then another,
Portent
11
dice.
classes to add to it. Fighter paladin wizard, and then fighter paladin bard, and then fighter paladin artificer. And it's like, a lot of these aren't going to work, and so it's like, all right, well, we'll do one level dip and then move on.
Yeah.
It's going to start to be very samey conversations.
Yes. And also, from a role-playing perspective, it gets messy. Mm-hmm. Like we have trouble with some of these 2 multi-classes to make a actual interesting overlap. Throwing in a third is not going to make that easier.
Now, it's kind of at the point where you almost need to throw that flavor away. This is my character and their skill set, and I'm gluing classes onto it to do what I want. It's like you need to divorce the flavor from the classes, really.
Yeah. So
unless it is something again like a fighter paladin who finds a spell book, it's like.
Yeah, I think there is potential for these to come up organically, but I just don't see many people finding interest in it. Like to that extent, you'd have to have a character whose focus is really just being a scatterbrain. So I guess there's that. That said,
I do appreciate the question was asked as do you find the most interesting? I had in my head best. And it's like, no, I don't know if I could answer best. Doesn't work that way. But the person already thought of it. So yes, most interesting. That makes it more open-ended discussion.
Correct. Yeah. And yeah, the question itself is not bad. The question is great. It's the multi-classing thing that I don't like. So with that said, what are some interesting 3 multi-classes?
So I think there's probably a lot you could do with the charisma casters.
Yep.
This is a super min-maxer when you guys are going to groan and roll your eyes at it, but it needs to be talked about. A Polarterer who takes a 1 level dip in Hexblade.
Hey, same, bro. That's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
Coffee lock with smites? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, my entire list is coffee lock with X.
Yeah, so the Paladin Sorcerer, and we already did that as a discussion, and it's great. It's universally considered an awesome multi-class, one of the best. You got your Sorcerer spells to fuel your smites, and a lot of these shortcomings of the Sorcerer are made up by how awesome Paladins are, and it's awesome. But it's a little mad, where you need Charisma and then Strength, and you probably don't want your Dex to be that low.
Why?
Where then if you take 1 level...
Screw the Dex. I don't need Dex.
I don't know. Dex is always good. So if you take a 1 level dip into Hexblade, you can now use your Charisma to attack. So just fully focus on that, which is awesome with Paladin and Sorcerer.
And then you take...
But I feel like that's like...
2 levels into Warlock, and you get those invocations where you never have to sleep.
Right. I was going to say, just taking the 1 level dip kind of feels like cheating and not quite in the spirit of this whole conversation. So yeah, I would go up to 3 levels. Go 5 Paladin, 3 Sorcerer, 3 Warlock, and then from there, take it how you want. So you get your Paladin extra attack. Sorcerer, you get meta magic options. You're kind of limited because you only got 3 sorcery points, but they're still there. And then decent spell slots. And then 3 levels into Warlock gets you your at least 2 spell slots coming back on a short rest, which they're still just level 1 at that point. Or are they level 2? I should have looked.
They go up to level 2 at 3rd level.
By that point? Okay, so 2 level 2 slots that come back on a short rest, which is amazing for smites. You get your invocations. You'll probably be a Hexblade, so you get your Charisma to add to it, and you get your Hexblade's Curse, which is a nice once per short rest ability, which they can crit on 19s and 20s and stuff like that. And add your Charisma, I think, modifier as damage, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And then you get your Pact Boon. So just take Pact of the Blade so you can overcome the limitations of a Hex weapon. So you can still be a two-handed weapon wielding paladin, sorcerer, warlock.
Oh, actually, sorry. The bonus to damage rolls against you said the Hexblade's Curse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that adds your proficiency bonus.
Right. That's
Yeah,
it.
Which is
okay,
a little
which
weird.
goes up based on character level. So hey,
Yeah.
even better.
Yep. That's like this is a min-maxy broken build. Like entirely. It's
Yeah, no, this is actually a little bit alarming.
I don't know if I
Is
go
this-
as far as. Go on.
Coffee lock smites.
yes, you can coffee lock it, and there's no reason not
So
to.
I mean, we've
Well-
said, oh no, you can't coffee lock, but you can. Coffee.
You wouldn't be getting back. Like you would never take a long rest again. Is the thing. So you'd have to take the invocation of the moon, so you don't need to sleep really. Which means we have to be the pact of the tome. You can't take.
Is that
blade.
limited by that one? That
Yeah.
sucks.
You can be
Yeah.
Hexblade and Pact of the Tome.
Right,
But you can't do the. Yeah.
blade stuff.
Who cares? All of that you're going to get
Yeah.
from being a paladin.
No, like as in you can't use your charisma modifier on like a two-handed weapon. It has to be a one-handed weapon and a shield.
I don't care. I'm still just going to have unlimited smites, so that's fine. I'll take the
With unlimited
D8.
smites, that kind of does stop mattering.
Yeah. Smite every time. Yeah.
Right, like
And Hexblade's Curse with double crits.
yeah. So in theory, you could smite on every single attack.
Right.
That's pretty dumb.
Yeah. So if you don't allow the coffee locking, which this is taking your warlock spell slots, turning it into sorcery points, and then back into regular spell slots. Take a short rest to get the warlock ones and repeat that ad infinitum, and just never technically take a long rest. You never run. Like you could have infinite spell slots below 5th level, is what the theory goes. And the argument is saying it's like taking a long rest is a deliberate thing. And it's even before there was the aspect of the moon where you don't need to sleep. People would argue, it's like, well, I sleep, but I'm not taking a long rest. I don't get all my health back and long rest abilities reset. I'm just sleeping so I don't get exhaustion. But people would like, no, if you're sleeping, you're taking a long rest. So then say, oh, well, I take aspect of the moon, which says I don't have to sleep. So there we go.
They had to have added that just to fuck with people.
Right. Are there
They saw that on the forums, like, let's add an invocation to make this even more annoying.
are there many paladin abilities that are long rest abilities?
It doesn't matter because
Right.
paladins are all smites, and now you
Yeah.
have unlimited smites. And the limitation is 5th level on the
Yeah.
spells, which doesn't matter because that's the cap for paladins anyways.
Your sorcerer level would probably not be high enough to get the 5th level slots. So just keep that in mind. It would be lower. It would not be infinite 5th level spells because you're
At
changing
20th.
it into sorcerer spells.
If we're talking like a level 20 build, you could do it.
Oh,
5
okay,
paladin,
that's true. Yeah,
minimum 2 warlock, and then that's 13 sorcerer.
yeah. Okay, that's fair. Your lay on hands is a long rest, so you wouldn't have that, but basically you have infinite cure wounds. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Divine sense, lay on hands, yeah, fighting style, your spell casting, but the slots are shared slots, so divine smites, divine health, yeah. I would say like channel divinity is a short rest thing, isn't it?
No, actually, I think it's long rest for paladins, but let me double check that.
Shorter long rest. So you could go vengeance and still get your vow of enmities and all that great stuff.
Oh, God.
Curse, vow, smite, 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 smite.
Right?
Oh, my God. Yeah. This one works.
Suddenly find yourself
Yeah.
banned from the Discord channel. Not allowed to
So, yeah, I think we already had a Warlock Sorcerer episode where we kind of talked about a whole bunch of in-game reasons to just not allow that coffee lock. So, assuming that gets banned, where like you could be this, but you cannot. You
have to take a
avoid
long rest. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's still obviously really good, but then you are limiting yourself more. Like your spells known to never get that high because you're spread out so much. You just have a bunch of low-level slots. So you're basically just feeling a bunch of smites with the occasional kind of utility spell. Your meta magic is going to be basically non-existent because all the sorcery points are just going into... Well, never mind. You could just convert a spell slot back.
If you need it.
Yeah. Well, then we're not coffee locking, so you can still do that. You can still get a good number of extra sorcery points through your warlock stuff in a day. It's just not going to be infinite.
Right.
So overall, it's pretty solid. You just need to be comfortable with the fact that your ASIs are probably going to be not the greatest because you're taking odd levels and not hitting all of them, and you're never going to get those really cool high level spells.
Right. You'll still get charisma up to 20 though.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think we're actually all in agreement. That's the most powerful one that I could think of that like actually works compared to other ones where it's like, yeah, I guess, this kind of works and you're not going to feel like total garbage. This is a 3 multi-class that is made better by taking all 3 classes.
The War Polluterer.
Assuming you just want to hit things hard as
Correct.
Paladin with smites.
Correct.
If that's all you want to do. Yeah.
I was going to say Polurtalock.
Ooh.
Polurtalock?
Polurtalock.
Well, that's even worse.
Yeah, it hurts, doesn't it? A lot of L's. Polurtalock.
Yeah. All right, so taking the Warlock out of it, but sticking with the Charisma casters, I think Bard, Paladin, Sorcerer could still be decent. 3 into Bard, go lower Bard. You get Cutting Words. You get Jack of all trades, so half your proficiency bonus to everything. You get Expertise, Bardic Inspiration, Bard spells, decent number of Bard spell slots, things like that. Paladins are just great at being a Paladin. Go up to 5 for multi-attack and everything. And then Sorcerer, potentially the rest in Sorcerer, just for the sake of getting enough meta magic options and keeping the full spell slot progression going to help fuel smites and things like that, or at the very least 3 for meta magic, and then dump the rest in kind of whatever you feel like. Not as good as with the Warlock, but an alternative to that, which I think is still pretty solid.
Yeah, I see that being an option. A different one I was thinking of to get away from the Paladin is not great in combat, but at least is interesting to me, would be a total skill monkey. If you did a rogue, bard, knowledge cleric,
Ooh.
where you just have like all of the skills, and that's basically what you're going for. Is I want to be good in every single skill and never be bad at a skill. I'd probably just do like a 1 level dip for knowledge cleric, which means you're putting your wisdom up to like 13 or 14 just for that. I mean, also wisdom skills are like some of the best.
Right, and wisdom saves are very common.
Right. So it's not the type of character that you're going to be like shining in combat, but I think out of combat, you're going to allow the rest of your party to just stop trying at any of their skills. You got this.
And even in combat, you're not terrible. Bard Rogue is solid.
Correct.
And we've had that discussion. They work well together, and slowing it down for 1 level into Cleric.
It's not the end of the world.
It's a little silly, but it's not going to kill you.
Right. I mean, having to get your wisdom that high might suck somewhat, but even still, like, you need your dex and charisma high, and then you do your wisdom medium, and then you dump strength and intelligence. Con, okay. Like, I think you could do that with point buy in the right race.
Right. And I think, like, at the end of the day, none of your skills are going to be particularly high, but the fact that you're proficient in everything kind of makes up for that.
Right. But then again, we're back to a 3-class multi-class where one of them is just a quick 1 level dip.
Yes.
When you're talking about a level 20 character, it doesn't quite feel in the spirit.
I'm sorry, you actually would need to go 2 into Cleric to get their Channel Divinity, and that's, you can tap into Divine Well of Knowledge. As an action, you choose 1 skill or tool. For 10 minutes, you have proficiency with that. So you would need to go 2 into Knowledge Domain.
Well, you don't need that.
You should.
I say knowledge
if
domain.
you want to be a
just
true skill monkey.
Yeah, I say the blessing of knowledge. You gain proficient in 2 additional skills. When you go lore bard, I think you get 3.
I'm curious if this, like, what's going to be missing, because I'm just
what if you
background.
Wouldn't it be hilarious?
Go half elf, obviously, where they get, I think, 2 skills.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what if you like ended up just getting proficiency in all of the skills? Like it's like, well,
that'd be incredible, and it
goes
goes
jack of all
incredibly
trades
well.
Wasted.
Yeah, it would. Except for
With
initiative.
the reliable talent at 11th,
Right, yeah.
though. Everything is now, a 10.
Oh shit.
In rogue, every skill you're proficient in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go 11 in Rogue, a little bit in Bard, and then a couple in Knowledge Domain, and you're never. I mean, what does your DM do? Like outside of combat, you're just like, well, I guess we're done, guys. We're done having any challenges.
That's crazy. And then there's also feats, like if you really needed to just get to all of them where you could get skills.
Right.
Yeah, if you truly get off the I'm useless, and if you just like, I don't care about combat, all your feats.
You still wouldn't be bad. You would still have your bard spells and your bardic inspiration and your cutting words, which is fantastic. You would still be a rogue with sneak attack and
like your 15 is your highest stat and you're level 20, which is like a concerningly low to hit.
Reminder that bardic inspirations rely on charisma being high, so it would actually suck to only have that at 2.
Right.
So you're doing this for the skills. You're not doing it for being useful. But still, as you said,
I'm curious. I do want to try this out because I wonder how many you can get.
Okay. Yeah, play around with it in D&D Beyond. If you make something, we'll share it with the episode.
Yeah, because that's the only other class that I was like, that'd be kind of interesting. And I started off with like rogue, bard, and wizard. Because at least wizard, it's like still just that idea of being the ultimate out of combat skill monkey. Because then they just get some really good spells like miscellaneous detect magic. You take portent, of course, so that way you just never get a bad roll. But I think the knowledge cleric is a little more fitting, and I'd probably go with that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you think the 3 pure martials mixed together, fighter,
I think as a way to salvage
rogue,
the ranger, it makes a little bit more sense.
but what are you getting from ranger there?
I mean, like, you want to be a ranger, you can just like stuff dips into the class and you're not losing much. You're not gaining a whole lot. It's just all right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, why are you the ranger? It's because you hate yourself? I don't know, man.
I find that taking more than 2 fighting styles, you end up not getting much benefit out of it. So maybe like fighter, ranger, rogue could work.
Yeah.
And it would be...
No, I was saying barbarian. Fighter, barbarian, rogue. Pure martials, no spellcasting. The only issue is the barbarian with the strength. Because like fighter and rogue just both do dex and all that. We did... One of our really first episodes is barbarian rogue. And we kind of talked about how it could actually be decent.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's a really good multi-class, actually. I hate listening to that episode because I come in there with such a shitty attitude, and now it like gets talked about, and I'm like, oh my god, giving yourself advantage on every attack for every sneak attack. Yes, like that's so good with the reckless attack.
Right, and like sneak attack needs a finesse weapon.
Yeah,
but a finesse weapon can use strength, stuff like that.
Right. I can't listen to those.
I know there's some
episodes.
Caveats. Yeah. I kind of curious to go back and listen to it. There's some caveats where you have to like pull out like a special like dagger.
We had the dagger bandolier. The dagger bandolier. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's why I hate that one, because like, oh, it works technically if you break the game. It's like, no, fuck. You can't recklessly attack you can't recklessly sneak attack.
Yes, you can.
You can't.
No, you can't. It's literally they're polar opposite ideas.
They are. That's true. But still, the idea is you're putting...
It's about having fun.
No. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage with your reckless attack by attacking in a quick way that opens you up for easy attacks in order to get that more powerful strike.
Right, and like this rogue sneak attack, you just flavor like it hits that fucking hard.
Right.
It's not precise, it just hits that hard.
Yep, right in the kidneys.
Yep.
And then you just add a couple levels of fighter, battle master, of course.
Of course. Or Echo Knight, just to be an ass.
No.
And then you get another style action surge, second wind.
You can't say don't. That is the point of this question, is what is a 3 multi-class that's actually interesting. So you can't just keep saying no.
No, I can,
we're not
and I will.
This.
You are going to be a fighter, ranger, rogue, and you're going to like it. I don't even know it. These fighting styles, just like archery, defense, end of list.
Yeah. As I say, like once you start looking into getting more than 2 fighting styles, there's no real reason for it. Yeah. You take defense, gives you +1 to AC, you're happy, and then take a, offensive fighting style that actually meshes well. You don't need more than that.
And just for a fun challenge, just 3 we haven't talked about. So obviously these 3 are going to have to be the last class character, being the druid, monk, wizard.
Whoa, God, what? Why? What? How? Stop! What? How? No, how would you do that?
I don't know.
I like it.
All right, we had Druid Monk recently, and we came to the conclusion that the Spore Druid with a Monk is not terrible.
Correct.
Because the Spore Druid is pretty melee focused, and then the Monk just kind of adds to it, and it actually worked pretty nicely.
And that wasn't recent, Kevin. That was like a year and a half ago.
No, it was Druid Monk.
Druid Monk was a while ago.
It was Will is playing his same character, Musty, because we were talking about it.
We've been playing that campaign for 2 years, man.
Trying to convince him to. We were trying to convince him to go into it.
Druid Monk. That was 59.
I'm glad I didn't.
It's episode 59. That was.
Yeah, it's April 16th. That wasn't that long ago.
It's friggin' pandemic, man. It all just runs together. But why
Back in
was
the
it?
year 1873, when the ravages of the pandemic just started, we discussed the Druid Monk.
What do you mean, why a wizard? For the portent dice, of course.
Duh, yeah. Come on.
Oh, thank God. I was worried it was going to be something more complicated than that, but now I'm feeling at
Maybe
ease.
Blade singing? I don't know.
No.
Think about
No.
that one further.
Well, actually, no, I can entertain that.
No.
With the short
So,
sword.
blade
short
singing
sword's a monk weapon.
is-
Don't look so angry. It's okay.
So mad.
okay.
All right, now that actually is kind of starting to upset me. Blade singing as a elf druid monk makes a lot more sense. I'll give you that.
Okay, all right. So let's just start with this. What are the multi-classing requirements? It'd be 13 dex, wisdom, and intelligence, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not fine. It's not fine.
No, that's totally pretty fun.
And then
Those are all important. things.
blade singing, you need intelligence to be up to get anything out of that. That's your AC.
AC, yeah, initiative, and then maybe not initiative. I don't think that's right. AC and then
Which-
concentration checks.
It's been so long since we talked about it, right? Not like earlier this episode. Let's see. So blade singing. Okay, so you get bonus to any Constitution saving throws, equaling your intelligence modifier. You get the AC equal to your int, walking speed plus 10, advantage on dex. That's it. The
Acrobatics checks.
initiative.
Not even dex.
Initiative's the war magic.
Right. It would probably mainly be to grab portent dice.
Yeah, we're gonna grab portent dice, and then what?
Yeah. Or also then 3 in artificer to get a battlesmith to make intelligence better.
Oh no. But then what's the point of going druid and monk? The whole point, in my opinion, of druid,
Or punch.
the whole point of druid monk is so that you can use wisdom for everything. Because druid can cast shillelagh, and then all of their normal attacks that aren't punchy, can just use wisdom.
Right, and they can apply their spore damage to all the monk attacks.
Right. So then if you then say,
Yeah.
oh, actually we're going to use intelligence instead.
Yeah, it doesn't really work. It was just the 3 we haven't used yet, so
Yes.
I was looping them in
For
there.
a reason, Kevin. Keep it that way.
I can say monk is very hard to multiclass with, as we discussed. Druid's been pretty tough too, I feel like. Actually, there's some cool things,
yeah.
like Druid Paladin, because you get Eagle Smites and stuff like that, or Raging Bears.
Druid,
Never mind.
Barbarian. I disagree. Druid's actually been one of the better ones to multiclass into.
Yeah. You know what? The issue is that a lot of times it feels like it doesn't need it, because Druid is just so solid on its own. Especially then you're giving up to level 20 and
Fair.
blah, blah, blah. But there are some
Yeah,
cool
level
things.
20, you can't
Raging
give
Bear,
that up, man.
Smiting Eagles, whatever. So, all right.
Raging bear, smiting eagle.
Okay, Druid, Paladin, Barbarian. Moon Druid, Paladin,
no.
Barbarian. So a Raging, Smiting Bear.
Oh, no.
You could do it. You could do it. It'll
Bear
happen.
eagle.
The only problem is the Moon Druid, the challenge rating, like what beast you could turn into is dependent on the Druid level. And it kind of feels like it just keeps up, and then you're slowing it down a lot.
I would do that for like a level 15 one-shot where it's like, you don't even care if your character lives. You're like, yeah, I just want to turn into a bear, and I want to just smite people with my
Rage
claws.
and recklessly attack and smite.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do that. I know I'm not going to be as good as anybody else here, and I'm going to drop that form in like a turn when I get hit with any amount of damage. But if I can do all of that, I will be happy. At least the rage would have the damage any physical.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually you go Barbarian.
Yeah, but this is stupid. This is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know. It sounds fun to me. I don't think it's that terrible. With the rage, having having damage, and then being able to do it
Strength,
twice a day.
wisdom, charisma requirements.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a little, I mean, you replace all your stats when you transform, so
that's true.
if you get up to 10, Raging Barbarian Earth Elemental sounds pretty fucking annoying.
It does. That's fair.
Who could smite?
I guess you only need 2 levels in Paladin, maybe 3 if you want to get your Oath, and then 3 for
Right.
Barbarian. So we're talking 14 Druid, 3 Barbarian,
That's pretty
3
close
Pally.
to. Well, if you're Moon Druid after level 6, it's what your Druid level divided by 3, rounded down is the challenge rating.
Yeah.
So like you're getting kind of close to maxing out the challenge rating, anyways.
Once you get the Earth Elemental, who cares?
Yeah, yeah. The only thing, it just takes up both of your.
Yeah, which
Wild shape
flips
shots.
to not mattering anymore at 20, which we already threw out the window.
Right.
Wait,
I mean, that's just a broken feature as it is.
you're saying it?
What are you saying? Wait on.
Oh, it expends. I forgot about that. That Elemental Wild Shape expends 2 uses.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a lot more balanced than I thought it was.
Yeah, it breaks at 20.
Right.
Then you can no longer kill the character, and it's just annoying. And there's no like weaseling your way out of it. There's not like, well, technically in this situation. No. They're just invincible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a short or long rest ability, the wild shape.
Right.
I had the long in my head, so short rest a little better. And then you could stick in at half your druid level, I think, so 7 hours. I mean, you probably would not run into a limit there, actually.
Yeah, but can you talk as an Earth Elemental?
Who needs to talk? You're a
gives a
smiting,
shit, man?
raging earth elemental.
You're too mad to
You're
talk.
not-
What do I have to talk about?
You're not the
anymore?
talky character. You're not the face of the party.
What is there to discuss? I'm an Earth Elemental who can smite. Let's fight.
Or fire elemental. Also feels fitting.
Yes.
They're just not as tanky.
All right. Well, okay.
Well, this was a fun kind of diversion.
Yeah. This actually,
good conversation,
there's some
yeah.
neat ones. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
I'm super glad that we're not doing an episode for each of these, though.
No, there would be so many bad episodes. That's just too much.
I think if there are ones that people specifically want us to talk about, let us know. Because I could see us saying, like,
Yeah.
we'll do,
open to that.
another Ask Monsters Multiclass around the whatever combination that you think is interesting. Fine. But yeah, that's never going to be a full-on thing.
Yeah, for a deeper discussion. Yeah, especially as we're going to start running out of the multi-classes in about 6 months here.
Stop saying that.
Now, nobody knows.
We officially have
No one could have predicted this.
13 multi-classes left, people. So
The supercomputer has finished crunching the numbers. We are running out of multi-classes.
for just $5 a day, you could get us more multi-classes.
Yeah, no, we should start a Patreon tier. $100 a month, we will do that 3 multi-classes. 2 hours, every single 3 multi-class combination.
Just for that one person, though.
Just for that
Yeah.
person. They release it publicly, we will take you to court.
Oh my god. I'm going to put that up. I'm going to make that an actual thing. Just for the joke. And if you actually give us $100, I'm going to refund you your money.
Okay, there you go. I was going to say, I'm not willing to commit to that.
Yeah, no, I would give up the $100. I don't want to talk about it. 3 multi-class for 2 hours.
On like a weekly basis? No. I don't have that type of
Oh
time.
my god. All right. But if you do have any questions like this, please send them our way through whatever social media
Yeah.
outlets. I think this
Yeah,
Ask Monsters and Multiclass thing has spawned some really great discussions.
yeah, and we might kind of start seeing this morph into being the more main segment of the show as we start running out of multi-classes.
Right, like our Sorcerer episode last time.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Thanks for listening.
yeah.